लगा दो सोशल मीडिया यार, यूट्यूब पे डालोगे तो खुद ही अपने आप लिंक आएगा कि नहीं आएगा? क्या लिखा हुआ है? डिस्क्रिप्शन में छोटी सी हेडिंग क्या है लिखा होगा उसमें, इंडस्ट्री के लिए पार्टनरशिप और नहीं लिखा होगा? हाँ, तो हम डिस्क्रिप्शन हमको क्या पता? डिस्क्रिप्शन के बारे में हमें क्या पता? हाँ, हम इस तरह तुम शेयर करो। आवाज़ आई?
बाबा और बैठो आगे। Why this is not? I have already.
Very good morning to all, and we welcome our chief guest of the day, Mr. Arvind Karadika. Guest of honor, Mr. Ajay Balwankar, Dr. Devji Chakravarti, Mr. Rohit, and Mr. Lalit. Managing Director, Ma'am Shefali Raj, Director PSIT, Director PSIT COE, Director Academics, Director HR, Director Research and Development, Director Pharmacy, Deans, HODs, faculty members, delegates from the corporate, academia and students. On behalf of PSIT, Kanpur, we feel privileged to welcome you all on a one-day seminar on industry, academia, partnership on research and development initiatives. Before we proceed, we request the dignitaries to kindly lighten up the lamp. Shubham Karoti Kalyanam, Arogyam Dhan Sampada, Shatruvati Vinashaya, Deepajoti Namastute. We salute the Supreme, who is the light in the lamp that brings auspiciousness, prosperity, good health, abundance of wealth, and the restriction of intellect. With these words, we request again to the dignitaries to come on the stage and lighten up the lamp. Thank you, Suvarna. With pleasure, we request the dignitaries to be seated on the dais. Today, we are glad to have with us our chief guest, Mr. Ajay Karavika, Managing Director, Nexus Energy Private Limited. Guest of honor, Mr. Ajay Keynote speaker, Mr. Deputy Chakravarti, Technology and Innovation Council. President NHRB, Lucknow Chapter, General Manager, Head, Tata Motors. Managing Director, Ram Shifali Raj, PSIT Kanpur. Dr. Vasikra, Director, Research and Development, PSIT Kanpur. Proceeding further, we will request Dr. Ashutosh Tiwari to kindly welcome Mr. Arvind Karavika by presenting a bouquet. Request Dr. Pranay Rao to kindly present the bouquet to our guest of honor, Mr. Ajay Balwanta. We request Dr. Ajay Pukar to kindly present the bouquet to Dr. Devji Chakravarti. We request Dr. Ramchandra to welcome Dr. Vasikra. Welcome Managing Director, Ram Shifali Raj. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now we request Dr. Vivek Mahadev, Vasikra Director, Research and Development, convener of the seminar, to kindly brief us about the seminar. Thank you.
respected Managing Director, respected directors, my dear colleagues and students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on the occasion of this one-day seminar on Industry-Academia Partnership on Research and Development Initiatives. This topic one-day seminar brings together researchers and R&D experts from industry and academia on a single platform to discuss relevant issues in the domain of research and development. It primarily deals with R&D initiatives and presents how partnerships between industry and academia establish higher research standards and stronger research output. It also opens up channels for mentoring and consultancy. By providing an environment of effective learning and innovation, this seminar is expected to build a stronger research impetus for collaborations and partnerships in the domain of research and development, in the areas of product development, testing and trials, mentoring, consultancy, fundamental research, technology development, applied research, concept development, prototyping, entrepreneurship and establishing centers of excellence. With this note, I would like to welcome our chief guest Mr. Arvind Karandikar, guest of honor Mr. Ajay Walawalkar, keynote speakers Mr. Devaji Chakravarti, Professor Sandeep Kandekar is at this point not available but is joining. I am sure Mr. Kumar Ali is also on his way, who are experts and eminent personalities for enlightening the mindset. Please. Thank you.
Proceeding further, we would request Managing Director Labs of Fine Arts to kindly say a few words.
Very good morning to everybody. Guests from the industry, I welcome you all wholeheartedly. Directors, deans, HODs, faculty members, and dear students. Today we are all here to discuss, to deliberate on a topic that is not only of national but also international interest. Industry-academia partnership on R&D initiatives. Traditionally, industry sought partnership with universities as a means to intensify and train future professionals or employees. As global economy tossed, companies wanted access to faculty who created the cutting-edge technology and knowledge central to university research. Knowledge creation and technology development requires considerable capital investment, which might not be possible for an academia alone. The independent research relationships between university and companies enables both entities to sustain growth in their areas. While companies rely on university researchers for product innovations, faculty gain prestige through increased external research funds. Just as industry requires research innovation to ensure profits, researchers require additional research currency to sustain productivity. University research collaborations merge basic and applied research, incremental research, and product development. Often occurs, we know that, in the industrial labs. However, these industry scientists report that they are involved in breakthrough discoveries, but it's important for them to have a very close alliance with the universities, academia, so that they understand the science and that knowledge that underlies the research. The industry-academia research relationships takes other forms as well. For example, some companies will gift scientific equipments to university researchers to conduct their studies. Although it's called gifting, but then there is an ulterior motive behind that. The researchers will somehow repay their generosity by communicating any cutting-edge research results related to the use of that equipment. This gives company an edge in innovation, as they can capitalize on the research results and create new, potentially profitable products. Frequently we see that university-industry research collaborations take the form of clinical trials for drugs and medical devices. So universities provide the technical expertise, patents, and physical space to conduct clinical trials, while companies supply the drugs, equipment, and money to operate the trials. We see that happening in our pharmacy today. Thus, both researchers and companies benefit from this relationship. Now let's understand the collaborative relationship that benefits all the stakeholders. So when I say the stakeholders, it means academia, it means industry, and society at large. There are numerous benefits that derive from this alliance, this relationship. So just to say a few, the social benefits. The society benefits from this relationship through innovative products and technologies. Industry-sponsored university research is often developed into practical applications that benefit the society. These applications include new improved medical devices, techniques, and therapies, efficient energy development, and innovative electronic technologies. We have experts today sitting at the dais. I'm sure they're going to enumerate that. Many companies visit our campus for recruitment, and I ensure that I'm physically present for all the PPTs that they do. And the lot of learnings we get from them, and I look for an opportunity where we can collaborate. So just for an instance, we had Infosys on campus, and they spoke about Boeing, a project that was given by Boeing to Infosys. And the problem that the company faced was extensive fuel consumption. So with collaborative research, the efficiency, the fuel consumption got reduced, and it was, I'm very, very sure, it was with collaborative. Now what happens when the emission, the fuel consumption reduces, the emission reduces, and there is an impact on the carbon footprints. So the society at large has a lot of benefit to take from these kind of researches that happen in collaboration with the academia. Now how does an academia benefit? Some industries, some universities seek industrial partnership because of the potential financial rewards of patents and licenses that result from commercialization of these academic research. This provides a means by which universities can decrease the government gap, so the funds are not very much available, and if they are available, they are not to the tune. So the gap that exists can be filled by these kind of collaborative researchers with the industry. Patents generated through industry-sponsored research are sometimes shared between companies and universities. And the intent is that the university will use patent revenues to support activities that are not market-oriented, such as the teaching mission of students. Additionally, faculty benefits through these access to cutting-edge scientific equipments not always available in the university labs, since they're very, very expensive. This equipment enables faculty to pursue additional lines of research that ultimately contribute to faculty productivity. Universities also enhance opportunities to find future employment for undergrads and grads through university-industry connections. Now the company stands to gain a lot. The collaboration can stimulate companies' internal research and development programs. The university researchers help industrial scientists identify current research that might be useful for design and development of innovative processes and potential products. This first look at cutting-edge research gives companies a competitive edge in the market, obviously. Often, university and industry researchers will co-author referred journal articles that describe research results. Universities also provide inexpensive lab spaces in which to conduct industrial research. One area where this is critical is in the arena of clinical research. Medical companies use these kind of universities for the trials of their drugs, devices, and emergent techniques. This is definitely less costly because the university hospitals have access to large number of patients. So you'll find these universities that run medical courses, especially in law department. Now, these kind of seminars that we conduct in college help us to understand the various arenas of growth and development. So on behalf of Chairman PSIT, I welcome you all to the success, and I wish that this one-day seminar would be a success. It will open new doors for collaborations. The industry experts are there, the academy experts are already with us. I look forward to great celebration today. Thank you so much. I would mention especially Director Research and Development, Dr. Vasikar, Dean RUD for putting up the program today, all the faculty members and staff who helped bring this program together. And I'm happy to see the students taking keen interest because this is one area of career that needs a serious touch in the college. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Ram. Before we proceed, I would like to read out the profile of our chief guest, Mr. Arvind Karandikar, Managing Director, Nexus Energy Tech Private Limited. Mr. Arvind Karandikar is mechanical engineer, having 25 years of working experience. He is presently Managing Director of Nexus Energy Tech Private Limited. His work in solar energy includes distributed rooftop grid-connected solar projects, net metering, developing Maharashtra government solar policy, power generation and solar manufacturing of cells and modules. Additionally, he has been technical consultant to reputed agencies like IFC, ZIZ, Volpan, and he regularly conducts trainings to Nexus, Germany, WISE, Pune University and NICE. We welcome Sir you to kindly say a few words and addresses.
I welcome Kumar Lalit, General Manager, HR, IR and FM, Tata Motors, Lucknow, as keynote speaker for the seminar today. I request our cultural head, Ms. Rupa Bhattacharya, to kindly felicitate Sir with the bouquet. seek decision.
Good morning, everybody. Dignitaries on the dais. Firstly, I am grateful that I am given this opportunity to interact with so many young minds here who are future of India, and of course the experienced faculty and my colleagues on the diet from various industries. What I am going to do right now is a session on solar energy, because I am working in solar energy for more than 20 years now. And solar energy is moving and expanding exponentially in India. Many of you must have noticed. Media nowadays is always covered with some or the other use of solar energy. But solar energy is one part of renewable energy, which India as a whole, we have taken very ambitious targets for next 5 to 7 years. And how to go that, there is a lot of participation from all the society that is envisaged. Lot of manpower will be required, which is skilled in various forms of different industrial sectors within solar photovoltaic. So firstly, we will talk about what exactly is solar photovoltaic and what is that India has targeted, or what is the vision of India into this. And then I will put on very few of the many topics that would require a lot of trials, research inputs, experimentation, improvements, because this is a very new concept and very new introduction in the country like India. Though in other countries it has been established, but there are certain atmospheric conditions of India for which we need to do a lot of experimentation to suit the technology to this particular condition. So I will touch upon few of them, and then maybe I will put the topic open for discussion, and I would like to have more discussion rather than the presentation. So I will start with, as I said, So I will start with what the technologies, overall RE technologies, renewable energy, then what are the efforts necessary and what is going on right now in India. And then we will discuss about what partnerships can be there and what can we do to have this industry academia partnership. You may be knowing overall RE technologies involve so many different technologies like solar, biomass, wind energy, hydro, wave, geothermal. There are so many different forms of energy, and ultimate aim of anybody in the world right now is to reduce our carbon footprint. The CO2 emissions that are playing havoc with all the seasons, atmosphere, temperature everywhere, not only in India but all over the world. Energy generation or power generation is one of the major contributing factors to that. So how to avoid or reduce using coal and other conventional sources, and how to go into using more renewable energy sources, that has been the focus of work in many countries all over the world. In India, it has just started on a very focused way. It has just started about 4 to 5 years back. But now there is a lot of trust on these things. If you really closely see the biomass and geothermal and hydro and wind energy, all these actually are different forms of solar energy itself. Because of solar radiation, temperature, solar traversing around Earth traversing around the sun, many of these resources are available to mankind. So it can be wind or biomass, it is actually a product of solar energy. So solar energy is a vast thing which is actually right now, as at least we don't know that it is going to be exhausted. So it is totally inexhaustible source of energy. Within solar energy, there are 4 types that solar energy being used or can be used currently. First is photovoltaics, which means converting solar radiation into electrical energy, that is known as photovoltaics. That is the technology within solar that is being now worked upon very extensively. Solar hot water systems have been there in India for more than 20-25 years. And mostly the common people know about solar energy only because of these water heating systems. So these two are totally different technologies from each other. In the first one, as I said, there is a conversion of energy from one form, the solar, to another form, which is electricity. Whereas in the second one, it is only absorbing the heat from the sun and then giving that heat or transferring that heat to any other source like water or oil. So those two are totally different technologies. We also have what is called as concentrated solar power generation. There are 1 or 2 plants in India right now, but it is still a very nascent stage technology and we don't have much experience on that. But a lot of research is going on in that technology as well. Of course, solar passive energy or design for various buildings, that is another very important thing and crucial thing that has been addressed right now. So you architects design a building in such a way that the energy requirement of the building itself is very low. That is called as solar passive architecture. So that is also now worked upon in India as well. As I said, water heating, comparatively a low technology application of solar, only absorb the heat as much as possible and then transfer that heat to any other medium like oil, it can be water, mainly it is water right now. Then you can generate steam or only heat to such an extent you can bathe with the hot water. So that is a very low-tech application of solar energy. Same solar thermal technology, but different application is cooking. This of course is very well known because solar, mainly the box-type cookers, what you see on the right. These cookers have been in the field for again more than 25 years, 30 years. And many housewives have been using these box-type solar cookers. On your left, what you see is a concentrating solar cooker, which is a slightly new idea, but about 10 years back. So their applications are also similar, that you absorb as much as heat possible and then convert it into or transfer that into for some heating. It can be with steam or it can be only the heating of the utensil. So these two are again other applications of this. Medium temperature cooking. If you know temples like Tirupati or Shirdi or other temples where lot of visitors are there every day and they are fed as a prasad, the meals are fed to them. So I'm happy to say that both these and there are many others also, all the meals every day are prepared on using solar energy. So these are medium temperature solar energy applications where steam is made and then steam is used in cooking of various other food items that are being served as prasad. So that is also being available in India for some years now. Passive architecture, as I said, to reduce energy requirement of the building itself when you design a building. So that is a different kind of application of solar energy or use of solar energy that is prevalent in other countries, the foreign countries, not so much in India. But there have been few good projects in India where this has been used. Concentrated solar power technology, there are 3 or 4 different types of this. But as I said, there are only 2 power plants in India right now. So there is not much work being done. About 5 years back, it was felt that solar thermal technology, this one, to generate power, will be much more suitable to India rather than the photovoltaic. But the development or the research or trials on the field have shown something different. Photovoltaic is much better. And that's why not so much focus is there right now on this solar thermal technologies. But there are plans and few institutes like National Institute of Solar Energy, IIT Jodhpur, they are doing some work on this solar thermal power generation also. Then we come to photovoltaic. So photovoltaic, all these pictures, what you see are different applications only. The principle is common. There is some material in the solar cell that if the solar energy imparts on that particular surface of the cell, it gets converted into electricity. So that is the main technology. And then how you utilize it is various applications and products of the technology. So these next 4-5 slides are only different applications and products of solar photovoltaic. You can see it has been used in off-grid rural. For example, there are solar pumps. Very major programs have been taken up by Rajasthan, Maharashtra and some other states, even Karnataka, in solar pumping applications. In UP also there have been some pilot installations of this. And then there can be a solar plant, a small solar power pack with battery, so that the house can be having the electrical energy used by, generated by solar. And that can be stored in a battery and then it can be used in the evening. So there are some certain standard small products that are being used all over India now. Offering industrial, there are certain specialized applications like on gas pipelines, it can be there for cathodic protection. On offshore platforms of ONGC and other oil companies, there is solar used for 3 different uses. So that has been there for more than 10-15 years. And this actually gives comfort to many new people for solar, that if the offshore platforms like very critical operations can be running on solar technology, then definitely solar is reliable. So this is how solar energy has evolved and improved over the years. So there are many such applications in off-grid arena. These are some I would say, passionate use of solar energy. There have been boats and ships and cars. You must be knowing in Australia every year there is a solar car race, especially solar car race. This is mainly for increasing the public awareness. But there are certain, incidentally I think some institute in India, some students did the project. They developed 4 different solar vehicle or solar car models. And now they are competing in global scenario somewhere and they have been chosen, the projects have been selected. So these things are also happening because if mobility can use solar energy, then nothing like it. As we heard earlier, as little use of this conventional fuel we use, like diesel or petrol or even gas, it is much better for our environment. So all these various applications can be possible using solar energy, and that is being done at various places. For the last 4-5 years, distributed, that is very small, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, up to 100 kilowatt solar power plant, but no use of battery here. Whatever is generated can be directly fed to the grid, so it is called on-grid technology. Directly fed to the grid, and then it can be utilized because it will be in the grid, it can be utilized by anybody who may avail energy from the grid. So these are called grid interactive or grid fed technologies. So like that now there are many projects happening in India. I will give you figures how much is happening in India. These are just some snaps to show what level solar energy is operated right now in India. These are utility scale large power packs. These are in megawatt level. First megawatt level power plant happened in India as latest as 2012. So that was 1 megawatt and then 2 megawatt and 10 megawatt. Right now we have world's largest solar photovoltaic megawatt level power plant, which is 150 megawatt. And now government has planned 750 megawatt one plant in Madhya Pradesh. So there is leaps and bounds progress is happening in this solar megawatt level power plants. This particular technology or application will really replace our conventional thermal power generation, which uses coal. You may have read in coal there are many issues, many problems, not only carbon emission, but also our coal, indigenous coal has much more or much higher ash content, so we need to import coal, then the cost increases, the cost in transportation, the wastage, pilferage, there are so many issues. So if we can have these solar plants, megawatt level also, that will be the answer to this. And that's happening in India now for the last 4 years. Few more solar power plants. These are few examples of building integrated photovoltaic. That means while designing the campus or the building itself, solar energy is considered as part of the building. So it replaces some material in building construction. It can be a slab on the terrace, on the roof. It can be a wall. For example, you can see this Indian Oil Corporation corporate office. The wall itself is made of solar cells. These are solar cells. So it is not only gives shade from the solar radiation, it also generates power. So it generates enough power to support their common load like parking and other common areas. So that is much beneficial for them. And some few small residential installations also have happened. This is for the building integrated photovoltaics. This is more prevalent in European countries, not so much in India because it is slightly costly as compared to other ground mounted and mounting systems. But it is happening now. So let us have some figures before we go into what are the research areas. Just some figures. The total installed energy generation or power generation capacity in India is about 288 gigawatt. You can see 288,000 something odd megawatt. That is 288 gigawatt is the total. Out of which renewable energy is only about 13%. So the 13% also, if you see, wind is the major one because wind program started more than 10 years back. So wind is the major source within the renewable energy source mix. But solar is now very fast picking up. But even now we are totally dependent on coal, which is more than 60% of total capacity. Now, if you just look at some renewable energy figures, don't go into each and every figure, that is not important. Why I wanted to show you this is actually a MNRE. India is the only country which has a dedicated ministry at central level for renewable energy. There is no other country like that. And MNRE have been there for many years. But now it has become very active and it has started doing much better work than earlier years. So these are the figures of cumulative and monthly additions. What you can see here is the wind power definitely dominates figure-wise, but solar energy growth is much more now as compared to any other renewable source. That is because of one national solar mission which was announced in India in 2011 and which had a then ambitious target of 20,000 megawatt by the year 2022. So, because by that time there was not even a single megawatt grid current power plant in India. So 20,000 megawatt was a very ambitious figure. Many people of course say that even 50% is achieved, good for India. After this new government came up, they said 20 gigawatt or 20,000 megawatt is nothing. We will do 100,000 megawatt. So now it is 100 gigawatt by the year 2022. And happy to tell you that right now 6 gigawatt is already established in India. And another 12 gigawatt is considered or assumed to be established in this particular year because more than 19 gigawatt have already been tendered. And these companies have already won the tenders for 19 gigawatt, out of which 12 gigawatt will happen this year. This is the speed and this is the growth that solar photovoltaic is experiencing right now. These figures are till January 16. That time it was about 5.2 gigawatt. Now in March we have crossed 6 gigawatt. So you can see the growth, but this growth is nothing as compared to where we want to go. Today is 2016, so by 22 is next 6 years, from 6 gigawatt we want to go to 100 gigawatt. So that is the speed with which the industry needs to work. And that's why actually it calls for a lot of resources, including manpower, including research. So this 100 gigawatt is actually divided into utility scale, what is on megawatt level, 40 gigawatt, 20 gigawatt through entrepreneurs. Each state has been given different budgets for entrepreneurs, promoting entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs to come into this field. And whatever project they can design, they can devise, budget is available for that. And this is about 20 gigawatt. Another 40 gigawatt for distributed rooftop, small solar power plants. Very ambitious target. Even today, many of the global governments don't think that India can do it. China, yes, China can do it. India cannot do it because of many things. But the way that last 2 years we have seen the growth, all foreign leading companies have opened their offices or JVs or distribution, everything in India. That shows that now people believe that they can do it. But there is a lot of requirement for many other resources. We won't go into detail, this is more technical that within renewable energy sources also there can be different features. Only one or two features I would like to highlight in solar is solar energy is a very, we can estimate, that means we can estimate how much energy is going to be produced by a particular plant at a particular location. Only drawback in solar energy is we cannot say how much energy will be produced at that particular hour of the day, because it changes according to the radiation falling intensity. It changes with if some cloud comes in. So there is lot of unreliability as far as the instantaneous power generation is considered. But over a period, over 1 month or 1 year, you can definitely estimate much better from solar energy as compared to wind energy also. Wind is more unreliable source, solar is a reliable source according to that. But as I said, there is a variation in generation that actually poses a lot of other issues for the grid operators. And we will come to that at a later stage. That is one of the areas where a lot of study needs to be done. But that is one thing. And another thing, even if we say 100,000 megawatt or 100 gigawatt, please remember, if I would have 1 megawatt of thermal power plant, I could have generated 1 megawatt power or maybe 800 or whatever, 80%, 24/7. In solar, you cannot do that. Solar CUF, that is capacity utilization factor, is only 19 to 22%. And then 1 gigawatt of plant will produce in a year, suppose, or in any given period, only about 20% of energy as compared to same capacity thermal power plant. Okay, so that is another difference. So nowadays, the idea is not to compare power levels or power capacity like megawatt, but to compare how many million units. And then a percentage of total million units consumed, how much will be from solar and from wind. So it is slowly shifting to energy consumption rather than overall megawatt because of these features of renewable energy sources. Okay, so as I told you, there are many policies by central government. Then there are 15 states, and now there are 22 states who have introduced the net metering concept, which is very popular all over the world. Then we have what is known as renewable energy certificate framework, which is all these are to promote solar energy as much as possible. Off-grid projects, there is again a subsidy introduced for off-grid projects. And National Solar Mission Act referred to, that has completed first phase successfully. So there is definitely a chance that even second phase, which ends in 2018, that also will be completed successfully. So 6,000 megawatt and off-grid we have about 1,000 megawatt. That is the installed phase. Now we come to this, that what are the things that are necessary in furthering or improving the solar energy sector. Mainly we are talking about photovoltaics here. Of course, reduce cost to achieve grid parity. Just to give you an example, in 2012, when the National Solar Mission first projects happened, megawatt level projects, those projects were like totaling to about 100 or 150 megawatts, but each project was 1 to 10 megawatts. The capital cost required to establish 1 megawatt power plant that time was about 14 to 15 crores per megawatt. Now, the capital cost required for establishing 1 megawatt is about 4 to 5 crores. So because the costs have reduced very substantially. Similarly, the effect of that is the energy cost generated from solar. That time, the developers or the investors were ready to sell each unit, each electrical unit at rupees 14, 15, 16, 17 rupees as compared to what we use from coal, 3 rupees, 4 rupees. So it was a huge difference. So nobody would have really gone for solar energy. Now, because we have this, what is called as reverse bidding, so investors, the private investors, considering all their rate of returns and investment patterns and everything from the projects, are ready to put up projects and sell electrical energy, electrical unit at the lowest right now is 4 rupees 36 paise. So within 5 years, from 15, 16 rupees, the unit cost or energy cost has come down to 4 or 5 rupees, which is very near to that from coal, that from gas, or that from oil. So what is called as grid parity, that is definitely happening. Lot of things need to be done and lot of factors actually contribute to reducing costs. So that is one area where we need to work more and more. And performance improvement, of course, is an ongoing thing. Again, as I said, there is something like component improvement and then workmanship improvement. So both these areas needs improvement and a lot of experiments needs to be done. Because till now, the solar photovoltaic technology as well as the workmanship or the project execution was very tuned to European conditions. But Indian conditions are totally different. Lot of dust, lot of temperature, lot of theft, lot of chalta hai sort of tendency and compromising tendencies. Because there are various Indian tendencies for which we need to adapt as far as the workmanship also goes. So that also needs to be experimented. Plant life, right now the plant life of solar plant is more than 25 years, which is good enough, but it can be improved, it can be extended. So there are more things to be done on that, so that you will understand that solar energy does not need any fuel cost. Operational costs or OPEX is very, very minimal, negligible. So once you have established a plant, if you can have a longer life, per unit cost goes down even more than that. So that is much better to have longer life of the plant. Make projects suitable for Indian atmospheric conditions. There are inverters. The technical people from among you will understand the inverters. The inverters till now the designs, even the PCB designs inside, were suitable for European conditions. So they are not suitable for Indian conditions. We needed to, just like computers earlier, we needed to have air-conditioned room, and we used to remove our shoes and go in the room because it was dust free and all that. Now we can use mobiles and computers everywhere. Similarly, inverters also need to come out in the open because they need to work in our conditions, which is very dusty and hot everywhere in India. Off-the-shelf availability of solar is also very important. Right now, it is not available like that. If you want to have a fan or electrical lamp, you can go to the shop and buy it and fit it yourself, or some electrician can fit it. But solar has not reached that stage, so that is also equally important to do that. Reduce, reuse, of course, because it is environment friendly. Specific material. Okay, now the solar cell that I talked about, the basic material of solar cell is silicon. That means about 85% of all the material used in solar cell in the world, 85% is silicon. So we are over dependent on only one material. Of course, there are many R&D companies as well as many academic institutes who are doing different material research. So there have been research on using of cadmium telluride as semiconductor junction than silicon. So like this new material to be used in solar cell is another area of research. Metallurgy and chemistry, there is a lot of chemistry involved in making the solar cell from the silicon wafer. So that also needs to be improved again. Right now, the efficiency of solar cell, which is commercially available, is up to 18%, or some companies have 20%, not more than that. That means in a given area, whatever solar energy is important, only about 18 to 20% is converted into electricity. This efficiency improvement is another factor for which chemistry needs to be changed. So that is also another topic of possible research in this. Energy storage technologies. We were discussing before we started this that storage till now was only our lead acid batteries, either in our cars or automobiles that we have, or in our home UPS or home inverter we use those lead acid batteries. But those are very hazardous to the environment, very low life and very low efficiency. There is not been much improvement in battery. But now, when the solar and wind increases, the penetration of these two technology in the grid increases, there is a lot of storage that will be required. So, there are institutes like NCL, National Chemical Laboratory, IIT Bombay, various different organizations who are doing research on different material in batteries or in energy storage. So, that is another area of research that needs to be looked at. Solar as building material we have discussed, but it is very less applicable in India, so that can be improved. Increasing efficiency is actually a factor of all these things put together. Then, for those of you who are not from technical background, there are various business models that are now evolving. Like business models, earlier it was only generate and use yourself. Now then it was generate and feed to the grid, like generate electricity and feed to the grid. Then it is, I will give my roof, but I will not invest in the system, in the project. There will be third party investment, so that is another business model. Then there is net metering and gross metering, that is another business model. So these are different business models that are evolving, and organizations like World Bank and IFC, International Finance Corporation, KFW, which is the German bank, they all are helping various Indian government departments and state governments to evolve these business models. So that is another area where a lot of investment bankers and management specialists are now considering to go. Performance monitoring, those of you who are from IT, the performance monitoring of each and every system is very important, very crucial. Because as I said, it is not a regular 24/7 operation. We can't say that 1 megawatt will generate 1 megawatt every minute or every hour. That is not the case. How it generates at various locations, that needs to be monitored very closely. So online monitoring, recording, cumulative analysis, that leads to actually smart grids. So smart grids is another area for which all these are the input factors. That is also another research topic. Pay as you use. Some IIT students after graduation have started some entrepreneurial models where pay as you use is like we have prepaid SIM cards. So we also have prepaid SIM cards in the rural areas given to the households. And there is one solar power plant put up by someone investing into that. And they can use particular energy amount only when they pay, only when they recharge the same. So that is another area where a lot of work is to be done. Well, all this will actually smoothen up the operation and utilization of solar energy. Smart grid is a huge subject in itself, but this is one part of that monitoring and renewable energy absorption with the grid. So that is another thing. You must be knowing smart cities have been introduced now. So one of the components of smart cities is energy self-reliance. So this small distributed rooftop power plants will be necessary in that particular sector. Each of the component also has various research topics. As part of the National Solar Mission, I am happy to say that there were also centers of excellence that were established. For example, IIT Bombay is a center of excellence for photovoltaic research. IIT Jodhpur is center of excellence for solar thermal research. So there are different research centers that have been established under National Solar Mission. So these are various research topics for this. Of course, I am not expert in this, how it can be done, but I know that there are many projects that students do on behalf of company-sponsored projects also. There are many projects that students do and then take it to the company, and then company takes it or purchases it, buys it, whatever form. Again, different models are there. Internship in companies is definitely a very good way of absorbing or way of interacting with each other. So that is also happening in many institutes as well as many companies. Have own laboratory, that is academic institute also, itself also can have own laboratory. There are very good funds available under National Solar Mission, where if small experimental laboratory can be established, it will be much better for any industry to come to you and then give the projects to the students. So that is another way of doing it. Sharing of requirements of industry. There are now like IITs mainly, why I am referring to IITs, they always have these kinds of interaction seminars with industries. And they actually in 1 day or 2 days they can get thousands of research ideas, then they can analyze those and then they can decide the priorities. So like that industry also gains out of such interactions. So there is lot needs to be done. And manpower for research is one thing, but what are the topics of research? These are only very few that I have shared here. So there is lot needs to be done. So that was my brief presentation. I think I have not overshot the time. Some questions now? Or if you have any questions or inputs or observations, I will be happy to. start.
Sir, hello. Sir. Zoom
You mentioned of solar module manufacturing. What exactly now you will focus as part of research and development activity, and if you have any collaborations for academia, what nature of that job will be?
In manufacturing, solar module manufacturing is nothing but an assembly, because you get or you purchase solar cells which are already capable of generating electricity, and then you assemble those into series and parallel connections, laminate those like you laminate a photograph, and then make a module out of it. But that module manufacturing is very important because that actually saves or protects the cell for next 25-30 years in the exposed conditions in heat, dust and other cycles. So one possible improvement or possible area which is of course being done at various places is use of materials in the, because from the efficiency of cell to module efficiency there is always a drop of more than 3% efficiency. So research is being done how to narrow that particular gap, how to not lose so much efficiency there, because cell itself, manufacturing itself is very intensive, cost and second is also on manual production is also there, and the automation is also there. So automation, there is a lot of experimentation being done. If you don't want to touch or any human interface with the cell, it actually gives you better efficiency and better life for the solar module. Unfortunately, what has happened right now, I will tell is, though we have a very huge installation base for manufacturing capacity, we have about 1.5 gigawatt per year capacity as a installed manufacturing. Utilization of that is only about 10% right now. That is because of the costs that we have. Our costs are very high as compared to Chinese manufacturers. So a lot of the projects that we do here are based on all imported modules. So another, of course, the major factor will be how to reduce cost in doing this. And material, actually the cell, is the major cost item within the module. So if we can work on that, then that will be much better. Sure. Actually, whatever points I have discussed here, because I am a consultant, we are a consulting organization, we have clients in all these different areas. We have clients for whom we have established model manufacturing plants. We have clients for whom we have established megawatt level plants, now the distributed plants, and also we advise various state governments and other things. So we can definitely work as a line in between what you can do and what is the requirement of the industry or the vice versa. So that we can do in each of, let us prioritize few areas where we can start working on, and then we can definitely.
One more question, very quick question. There is interest in BIPV, and in Kanpur near area, we have got lots of cold storages. How can you connect these two, and how about building some partnership with academia also in this area?
What storages?
Cold storages.
Cold storage. Actually, running the cold storage on solar is another area where some experimentation has been done, but a lot of work is to be done. But BIPV is something different. I won't go directly for BIPV mainly because of two things. One is it is still about 25 to 30% costlier than regular EV. And secondly, nothing of that BIPV thing is available in India. We need to import everything because we don't have that capacity of manufacturing, because we don't have a market. So rather than BIPV, we can go cold storages built in with PV plant. That is possible. And for that, maybe one as a first case study we can take up, and then it can be done on a larger basis. Similarly, petrol pumps, similarly railways. We have worked with railways quite extensively. So nowadays, somebody from you must have seen the railway wagons are now being tried with solar panels installed on them. So there are so many things that can be done. Solar is a very modular thing. It's only your imagination that stops you from using it anywhere. So we can help you there. We can prioritize something and we can do it. Yes.
Question?
My question. Sir, approximately how much solar panel do we need to generate 1 megawatt of energy?
1 megawatt. See, right now the largest single solar panel available is about 310 watt. So if you are using say 300 watt, you will require just about 4,000 panels to make 1 megawatt plant. And you will require about 5 acres of land to put up that 1 megawatt plant. Was that what you were asking?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I'm a student of electrical department. I'm much oriented towards working in this field, your solar field in future. I want to ask you that this solar system needs a large amount of area for this field. But I want to know what are your ideas. Could you share your ideas? How would you reduce the area requirement for these facilities? Because the solar panels need a lot of areas to produce 1 kilowatt or megawatt of energy.
Yeah, as I said, 1 megawatt requires about 5 acres as on today, and this depends on the efficiency, which I told you was between 18 to 20% right now. Actually, model efficiency is between 15 to 18%. Improvement of that efficiency is definitely being worked upon, but even on large scale, right now, the highest efficiency available for solar cell for a commercially viable technology is about 30 or 32% on lab scale. On commercial level, it's about 15-20%. So even if we increase, it's not going to substantially reduce the area. So what are the options? The options are, for example, why use only the land? Why not use your existing rooftops, which are anyway you have built and are going west? One. Secondly, why not use water bodies? Now you will know that there are some floating solar power plants happening in India. And just now I showed pictures of 2 megawatt plant from Japan. It's all floating on a big lake. It also reduces the evaporation of water, and it also does not have requirement of land. There are these irrigation canals. So Gujarat started with canal top installations, canal bank installations. Like that, things are happening, but improvement in efficiency in the area, there are some limitations.
Sir, how much time do you think we would take to reach that destination when we will be completely dependent on such fuels and not use conventionals or something?
I hope that day never comes, even if I am working in solar. I will tell you why. See, finally, anybody, any country, any entity cannot actually depend on single source of energy. Like for example, our fate was sealed with oil and coal. That is because we didn't have so much mining in our own country and all that. That's why we focused on that. It is sure that these conventional sources like coal is going to be exhausted. But it is anybody's guess. There are so many studies which say that 20 years, which say 100 years, 50 years. There are a lot of different studies on that. I cannot say which one is correct. Secondly, I would say that energy mix is always better. You should have nuclear, you should have wind, you should have solar, you should have coal, you should have hydro, you should have gas, all these things. So if some Gulf War happens, we are not actually at the mercy of Gulf nations that our energy generation is affected. Like that, we should have a mix. So we will not be, we should not or cannot do away totally with conventional fuel. Portion of renewable energy should be as much as possible, and we have those targets. We have targets like 2022. We should be having at least 25% of total energy requirement met by the renewable resources.
Morning, sir. Sir, this is.
Sorry, After
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Arvind, you mentioned point about maximum efficiency of conversion of solar to be around 90%. What I wanted to understand is the major losses here probably stem from thermal losses, dissipation. Now this is much akin to losses which you see on power transmission lines. So can there be a project, or is there some activity to really understand how can this heat dissipation or the thermal dissipation which is happening can some learnings from power transmission grids be borrowed and extrapolated to solar in order to contain those losses, thereby stepping up the efficiencies?
Yeah, there are two institutes, not in India as in today, but one in US, which is NREL, and another in Germany, Fraunhofer Institute. So these two institutes are working on this particular aspect of if there is an efficiency of 20%, what exactly is happening to other 80% of solar radiation importing on that. So one thing is that the limitation of semiconductor junction to free the electrons, because that is the current finally. So that limitation itself is very much there. Secondly, because of that heat increment in the cell itself, which further actually reduces the efficiency of the cell. So this thing is being researched upon in those two things. Now connecting into the transmission of this thing is something very new. I am also listening for the first time, but let us discuss that and let's see if yeah. Correct. This question is this research or any other research, why we are not doing much on that. The only possibility for that is there was no market till now. All the research or all the development, all the experimentation and any efforts actually are towards which is marketable. In India, the market itself has grown only for the last 5 years. So there was really nothing that was being done even at the industry level or government level. So let alone at the academic or research level. It was not done. But now, because of this lot of interest, these things will definitely start happening, including this research. Yes.
Sir, this is Mazhar Hussain from Electrical and Electronics Engineering. First of all, I want to thank a lot for your presentation from a student side. I want to ask that each and every one is talking about the technology, and we are not trying to aware the at zero level. As you are the main whole and soul for solar energy this time, and what should you? No sir, for Maharashtra, you are working with Maharashtra and UP, and what is the main thing we can do to aware the people at zero ground level, like at village, at cities? Just like people are not aware about the solar energy, we are booming technology day by day, but this common people are not aware about it. What should main implementation can be done to aware people to take their interest towards solar energy, sir?
Good question. Actually, as one major part of National Solar Mission, a lot of emphasis has been given on awareness campaigns or increasing awareness of solar energy or overall renewable energy in masses. Secondly, also another emphasis is on training for skill improvement. A lot of work is being done. We are also developed actually many training programs at various levels, right? From only the user, like you said, the household, how to use solar energy, how can you make use of use it much better way. Secondly, on the technician levels at the rural areas. So just to maintain a system, what can be done. Then the manufacturers, then the designers, then the research scientists. So there are different levels of training programs that are being done. There is one solar energy training network established in India very recently, about 6 months back. And a lot of academic institutes and industries are part of that SETNet. And the SETNet partners are now taking this awareness as well as training programs, spreading to all over India. From each state there are 3 SETNet partners that have been selected. So this is happening. Of course the speed is much less because our society is so huge and our population is so huge. Finally, I would say also another thing, that for a layman, for a household owner, it's not important to understand how solar works and all that. For him it is mainly मुझे कितनी energy मिल रही है और कितने पैसे में मिल रही है. Just like mobile is now used by anybody, but he does not know how mobile is made or what is the technology behind it. So solar is also has to be, that's what I said by off the shelf. It has to be off the shelf available and then it can be very mass adopted. But you are right, those things are happening now. A lot of focus needs to be.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I am a student of mechanical department. So I said something, you said that solar energy is renewable energy sources. But in the Germany, I researched in Germany, they have 120 plants, solar plants, RSS solar plants. Also, he decay out, he not proper condition work in the coast. So in the rainy season, he not comfortable to produce electricity. Only 12-30% electricity will be produced from plants. So he already shut down that plants. So please suggest me why the plant was shut down in Germany, developed country, also developed country. Please suggest me.
Okay, see, German experience in solar energy adoption has been for more than 15 years. Some of the plants that you have mentioned, those plants were established about 12-15 years when the technology was in a very nascent stage. So the plants have been shut down not because they didn't want solar energy, mainly to improve production from the same area available with new technology being introduced in the area. So it was sort of what is called as refurbishing of the solar power plant done with the new technology available right now. That is one. Secondly, Germany actually has a very high penetration of solar energy. And as I told you earlier, the variation in generation in the solar energy and consumption, that poses a lot of problems in the grid management thing. So when that happens, then they need to shut down few plants and then like they also do with conventional plants. They also actually manage many hydro and conventional plants to adjust the energy consumption or requirement through generation. Similarly, because the penetration of solar itself is very high, they needed to do that with solar. Fortunately, learning from those experiences in India, we have already started talking about what is known as forecasting and scheduling of solar plant also, which was not there in other countries. So we are learning from those experiences and we are seeing that total proportion of solar in the overall energy mix is not be so high that we are actually faced with these problems. Yeah. I think this is the last one we can take. As we are living in an era that is very simply part and most of the countries are facing a positive kind of mixed type component. So why is there any advantage of solar energy during the times of major winter? So why we don't focus on the nuclear power rather than nuclear energy? Actually, nuclear, you must be knowing the major threat is hazardous waste. And that are all the accidents happening in like Japan and Russia and all that. So that not at all is available or not at all exists in solar energy. There is nothing hazardous here and nothing can happen like some accident can happen in nuclear plants. Secondly, nuclear has been actually publicized way too much. But even if we have all the agreements that we have done with US and France and everything and all the plants happen 100%, the total nuclear production mix in our energy mix will not be more than 3%. Because the availability of the material itself is a huge problem. So we cannot compare nuclear with anything else. Nuclear power plants is only a very limited thing, and that is because that is also used as part of nuclear weapons and then operations for all kinds of nuclear power. So that is a different ballgame. You cannot compare these two. And they are so hazardous, they are so limited, and they are so costly that you cannot compare. You cannot have more than, like only France has more than I think 30-35% of nuclear. But they are also now shutting down all the plants. So it's not true.
Sir, good evening, sir.
I think that was the last one.
We'll be taking your questions in the later session.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Today we have with us Mr. Ajay Balwankar, President, Gencon India Private Limited, as the guest of honor. Before I request him to speak, I would like to read out this profile. Dr. Ajay Balwankar is President of Gencon India Private Limited. He has developed market for Gencon's consulting services and flagship CFT software flags in India in the field of safety and risk management and advanced dispersion, explosion and fire modeling. He is experienced professional in the field of computational fluid dynamics and has worked on a variety of CFT projects related to oil and gas, HVAC power generation, nuclear energy, and IC engines. Additionally, he has in-depth expertise in modeling reactive flows in various industries from coal combustion in furnaces to diesel and gasoline combustion in engine. We request sir to kindly address us.
Let me at the outset thank Dr. Vasinger for inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to talk to you. When I was sitting here looking at all your young faces eager to learn, there was a little bit of, palpitation in my stomach. What am I going to tell these guys? Right? And then I'm ready to follow such excellent talk by Arvind. So now my tension is a little bit higher. Then I realized that I've made a presentation thinking that there will be some industry folks from Kanpur will be here to listen, and I'm seeing that you are here. So it's like a reverse swing. I was playing for an outswing and the ball has come in. So now I'll play progress. So bear with me. What I'm going to talk about is what we are doing here, why are we, what my company does. And in my introduction, they might have told about maybe work in risk and safety. So I want to give you a little bit of understanding of what that is, what risk and safety is. And then I want to talk about what are the gaps, where are we today in India and where we want to go and what institutes like CSIT can do. Following that, I want to take a few minutes of your time and talk about my personal experience from research and development, going from an engineering background in the BTech degree or DE, and then immersing yourself in research and development kind of activity. What struggles I had to go through. I just want to share so that maybe some of you trip on those hurdles. So this is sort of the agenda that I want to lose. You can feel free to raise your hand and ask questions if you feel like that. So at Gexcon, that's the name of the company that I work for. We are Norway-based multinational. This is our vision that we want to be global leaders in dispersion, fire, explosion, safety. Safety is our bread and butter, it's our passion. That's why we are here. Our company profile, we are multinational, working out of 8 or 9 different countries, with about 20-25 years of research and development background. We mainly work on explosion safety, fire, dispersion and explosion. I will tell you a little bit what those are and why those are important. So we look at causes, consequences, prevention, protection, accident investigations, all those things we work on. Like I said, we started with research and development in 1970s, and then that research program was spun off as a company and continued to grow. We are everywhere the globe. And these are our core businesses. This is what we do. Right? We do consulting services. Another question? So we do consulting services, we do R&D, we make our own software, we have labs that conduct experiments, that do research on the lab scale, actual physical explosions. We blow stuff up and it's a lot of fun, blow stuff up, but it's done for some practical usage. And then we have at the center of it, the Exxon Academy, where we collaborate with a lot of universities, research institutes, and industries to take all the knowledge that is developed to people who can use it, educate people on safety. Exxon Academy training courses is one of the corner or central pieces of all this. And this is where I think an organization like Exxon can work with ESIT in education, not only students but also the industry. So then there is a lot of information on what we do in R&D. We develop computational fluid dynamics software called FLAX, which is used for this kind of analysis. And I'll not go much deep into this because it's a really high technology that we use in this information. We do consulting services, we do all sorts of modeling, things like that. We have labs, like I said. We have software technology, where we develop software, so IT people need software engineers. And we have academy where we do a lot of courses, take the knowledge to the industry. So what is industrial safety? Right? We talk about this, not much. If you go to a company like say Reliance Industries, now if you go to L&T, when the meeting starts, right, you're sitting in a conference room, there are 3-4 people. When the meeting starts, the organizer of the meeting will first find out that this is the map of the building. These are the fire exits. In case of fire, this is the point where we meet. This is where fire extinguishers are. Okay, and that's the safety meeting. It will take about 1.5 minutes meeting. And then we proceed to the matter of business, working on business. So safety is what we want to do is control the losses. In an event, in an accident, we want to control the losses. An accident is one thing. Accident is when there is actually something. Can you hear me? Little bit loud and clear. So, accident is something which takes place and then there is undesired sequence to it. But before accident happens, there are incidents that happen. Right? You might have experienced it. The bike slipped a little, but you didn't fall. You continue. That's an incident. That's a near miss. You want to investigate. You want to figure out why it happened and how to prevent it before it turns into accident. Right? So that's the incident. And then there are hazards, what hazard leads to is ill health, and there is this. Anything that we do, there is risk involved. The point is not to eliminate the risk, understand the risk, to minimize it,
and to know that what is the reduction in risk we have done and what is the payment that we have done. When you wear a helmet which is costing 600 rupees, you know that this is the investment that I have made and the benefit I am getting is in case of an unlikely event of an accident, I am protecting my head. Right? So the cost benefit analysis needs to be clear. Sometimes it is not very clear. Human mind is not tuned to evaluate incidents that occur very rarely. If there is a chance of 1 in a million, you will not be able to assign a monetary value to that accident. You cannot assign the rupee value, saying that if I were to fall down and break my leg bone, let's say, one time while riding my bike, out of million rides that I take, what is the cost of that injury to me? Is that more than 600 rupees that I spent today? You don't know that. It's very hard. But in industrial scenarios, there is science. There are methods by which we can quantify some of this. Not all of this, some of this. And we can make this. Is risk assessment. What is risk? Risk is likelihood of occurrence. 1 in a million, 1 in 1,000, maybe once every day. Right? That's the likelihood, that's the probability. And severity of consequences. Every day I will take on something. Not fall. Okay, it's the final thing. Even if I were to fall, maybe I will get a scratch. So the consequence is not high. The likelihood is very high. So you need to understand both of these. Risk can be qualitative. I can say it's not very high, low, these are all qualitative. 1 in a million, 500 rupees, these are quantitative numbers. I can assign numbers to each of these. Right? Always will give you more information to act on than qualitative. Qualitative we say cut feel, so the gun doesn't feel much, but we say cut feel. Right? So we try to go for quantitative. When we go to industry, safety, we try to go for quantitative. If I like occurrence, it is done using frequency analysis. There is historical data, there are industrial accidents data that are available for a particular industry, for a particular type of work, for a particular type of year, a time of year. All these things, all these data are available. You can do some frequency analysis, find out. There is severity of consequence. It may cause one fight, it may cause injury, it may cause damage to a very expensive equipment. That's also loss. Okay. So all these consequence analysis are done. And then you map your risk, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. If it's in the road, it's not acceptable. I want to spend whatever it takes to bring it at least in the yellow or a green zone. Okay. When we are talking about chemical industries, the specific area that I work in, chemical process industry, we are looking at gas leaks. Right? We all know how Bhopal happens there. So gas leaks, gas dispersions, leakages of flammable chemicals, fires, explosions of gases, liquids, dust explosions. Not very many people know that dust actually explodes. Sugar factories have been brought down completely because of sugar dust that is accumulated, that explodes. There is tremendous amount of energy in sugar dust. There is tremendous amount of energy in the grain dust. When the grains are stored in big granaries, grain elevators they are called. Accidents have happened where these are completely. So dust explosion is something that not very many people are aware of. Metal dust oxidizes exothermically, can explode. Right? And toxic gas release. So these are the areas where we. And what is the fundamental rule here? Is to know your risk. Qualitative, quantitative, whatever it is. So the first part is awareness. Any job that is being done in your factory, tomorrow you might go and become a manager. Right? You might be a floor supervisor. You have workers working under you. Their safety, the safety of the protection of the equipment might be in charge of you. Are you aware of what can go wrong What are the consequences? Likely it is that things can go wrong. We don't know that. We need to be aware. So that is the first. Second step, which is awareness. Right? You need to be aware that not only that things can go wrong, but things will go wrong. How likely is it? You need to know. How to control it? You need to know. How to respond? You need to know. So that is the second thing. And there is a third part which is awareness. Right? We have to be aware of not only what we have done and what can go wrong, but is everyone who is working on this, are they aware? Is safety in their mind? You have to be spreading the awareness. Not only that you have to be aware, you have to be spreading the awareness. Unfortunately, we find that in the Indian industry, all these three are not there. There is a lot of risk taking, knowingly or unknowingly, that happens. You see workers working like high-rise buildings, you see a lot of risk taking. You see a lot of factory floors, you will see tremendous amount of risk taking. And you will have to ask that question, is it worth it? Okay. So this is something where I find that we in India are lacking severely. Lot of industrial accidents, not incidents, accidents, where there are bodily injuries, where there are fires, where there are sometimes death, are crushed under the carpet. The workers are paid off, the families are paid off. Okay, and this is one of the reasons that multinational foreign manufacturers are slightly vague. So when we talk about Make in India, we need to address this. We need to address this openly. We need to address this transparently. Right? There are no shortcuts. You put the helmet on. You don't buckle the strap. You have done the job half. You are still not safe. Right? Chalta hai. We need to get rid of it. Right? There is no chalta. We need to wipe it. When it comes to safety, there is no chalta. Otherwise, this is what happens. This is a former ammonium nitrate plant. Tomorrow you might own some of these industries. You don't want your plant to come in as former, right? You want it to be operational. This is what happens when people don't pay attention to safety. So what is the key? Key is in training. And training at a young age. That's where we come in from X1. You want to train. You want to make a build awareness. You want to say these are the things that are happening in industries that are parallel to your industry around the world. And these are the things that can go from solutions. There are ways to minimize your risk. And when all of you go in the various industries, you want to be safe, you want to enjoy your life, you want to do productive work on your life. Be trained, be aware, be conscious. So what we can do with GEPSON and Academy, right? We can develop training courses that are completely tailored for Indian industry, that are tailored to the workers, the education level, the awareness level of workers that are currently employed in those industries. We can do it. We can update training. We can customize training. What we need to do at these levels, before they go out into the industry, is to inculcate awareness, the habit that we need to work safe. Right? Investigation and correction, how do you do that? That needs to be told, that needs to be trained. So these are all very, very important parts. What we bring to the table here is we are world leaders in chemical process analysis. Cutting edge technology, I have a video that I wanted to show, but I may not be able to show it, so let's skip it for now. Here what we have done is to facilitate safety, training of safety. We have created a virtual reality environment where a worker can actually interact with the equipment that they will actually see in their plants. And then you can virtually create fires, you can virtually create leaks, and then make the operators to respond to that, which valves to be shut, which way to go, which way to run, which fire alarm to set. All these virtual trainings can be done so that when the real situation comes, the work is okay. So these are the things that Dexcom can bring for us. What are the next steps? Setting up joint programs, local partnerships with various industries. There are a lot of industry beds in India. One is in Kanpur, there are a lot in different states. There was student awareness. You are the guys who are going to go out there and lead all these people, train all these people, and mentor them. You need to be aware. And that's the way we envision that we need to make in India safely. Okay, that was to be my presentation, but I'm going to take 5 to 10 minutes of your time further. So that is a little bit informative. I'm still in time. So what I want to talk to you about is a little bit on research and development. So my background was 5 years in bachelor's from College of Engineering, Pune, same college where Arvind did I had university rank, I had throughout my school life, a lot of good marks, right? 90%, 95%, this scholarship, that scholarship. I applied to the universities in the US, 5 universities I applied, 4 of them gave me scholarship, 5th gave me fellowship. I had a very high GRE school. Nothing can stop me. I am the best researcher. I go to the US, Penn State University, right? First semester, 3 courses I'm taking. Heat transfer, fluid mechanics, and numerical techniques. 3 courses I'm taking, all graduate level. My peers, some are from Germany, China, India, IIT, right? And I am struggling to stay afloat. I cannot do anything. Okay, now I don't have my mother to cook meals for me. She is not doing my laundry. I'm on my own, right? I have to look after my finances. I'm getting money, but I don't know how to manage. And on top of that, there are these world-class teachers that are giving input at levels that are going above me. And there are peers who are catching and competing and winning me. What's going on? Why am I not able to do when I was doing so well in India? And then after a couple of failures, well, not efforts, but not the standard that I had set or I expected myself to be. B grades, B plus. I was not used to that, right? Why? Right? Because we in our curriculum do not inculcate the questioning habit. We know the formula, we know what to write, we know that when the question is 5 marks, you write this much, when it's 10 marks, you write this much. That is not going to work. Okay? So what happened when I was competing at the world stage. There were few students from this country, few students from that country. Who were struggling? Students like me who were from India but not from IIT. Students from China. These are the 2 groups that were struggling the most. Okay. What I want to tell you is R&D is not a separate compartment in your brain that you will turn it on when we are talking about R&D, when you are doing research. That's not happening. Every course that you do, every lecture that you attend, every formula that you see, every theoretical description that you see, try to understand, try to internalize that. Ask questions. Find answers. What am I going to tell you? I cannot tell you facts and figures that you don't have in your pocket with Mr. Google. Okay? Facts, figure, information, formulae, these are all there. You don't need to memorize, you don't need to mark them. There is no value in that. There is no value in retaining information in your head. There is value in understanding what you have done. If you understand, you can compete at the world stage. If you don't understand, you need to work hard. Okay? So get into that habit. Then R&D, research, whatever you want to do will come very easily. But we have to inculcate that habit every day. All of you must be using WhatsApp. it for putting this sum of money? Why? I don't understand. But there is some answer to this, right? Why is somebody buying from company that everybody is using for free? Where is the value coming from? Ask financial questions, not just the technology questions. Because in real life, the technology has to be wedded with finance. It has to be commercially viable. Only then it makes sense. So ask ground questions. Third thing, I am from mechanical engineering, I am from electrical engineering, I am from telecommunications. In real world, these days, none of these technologies exist in isolation. If you want to work on solar cells, he is a mechanical engineering, he is doing circuits, series, parallel, he is doing control systems, he is doing everything. He needs to know that. He needs to know the finance, the economics of it. You cannot box yourself in your mechanical, electrical anymore. You need to know computers, you need to know IT, you need to know big data, what is happening with big data. Be aware, open, talk to your colleagues, your co-students from different jobs. Have discussions on questions like why, what is happening, who's doing that, who's paying for it, who's making money out of it, how does this work, right? Have these discussions. The luxury that you have right now at this stage in your life is time. You have a lot of time. You may not have that once you start working. So use that. With that, I will stop my lecture and I thank you for your patience.
First question. See, you presented very well what Dexcon can do with an academia partnership. In fact, what I would say here, ESIT can become a nodal center for Dexcon for the local industry training programs.
Sure.
As we see, training is very important for academic environment as well as industry environment. And industry requires a lot of safety focus, and having small scale industry meaning safety is somewhere not looked after carefully, and therefore a Dexcon like body can really put efforts into to safeguard the requirements of industry practices. So that type of nodal sector we should come up with interest from Dexcon at ESIT here.
Sure.
And if you can put forward your points on that.
Yeah, so we are looking for, or we are teaming up with industry partners. Very soon we will be signing a MOU agreement with Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technical University near Mahad in Bombay for this very purpose, because there is a lot of small scale chemical petroleum industry in that Mahad area. That's a Mahad. So, and we have been doing these kind of things in various other countries. So, MOU and doing joint research and doing joint training is something that we do. And we can definitely tie up with ESIT and do something like this in this area. Absolutely. I look forward to it. How we can take it forward, we can do it.
Congratulations. Not a question, it's just a comment. I love the last 5 minutes of your talk because that's how I want my students here to think. A very questioning mind, a lot of curiosity, and it's understanding that could lead to research. So you touched the point that I've been thinking, I don't know if somebody has an answer to this. Why was WhatsApp sold and why was it bought? There are no ads on that. I've asked so many people, but nobody's been able to give me an answer. So everybody says maybe 6 months down the line or 1 year they're going to charge, but then it's been quite some time. I don't see any charges that are applicable. Anybody can give me an answer to this as to why it was bought and what is the benefit?
I'll give you my version, my understanding. I think it's the data.
Data. I
Is
thought about the
the
same.
usage pattern of people, one thing. Second thing, what Facebook is doing is who are you connected to and who are they connected? Building these networks. Same networks can be built through WhatsApp. What are your chat groups? who are they connected, and then their usage patterns can be tied together. That's where I think, and then they can, with this big data, they can extract patterns out of even the connection.
I guess they're selling the data, so back end
Is the data. Data is very valuable. I think that's what.
That's what made sense to me also. That was what it was. Right. Thank you.
But yeah, that question has to come. My point was that question has to strike you that what is happening here, who's paying for it.
Right. Anybody has a question among the students? Yes, please.
It's hard to say, but based on what I've read, I would say net neutrality is required. And what TRAI has taken the decision by, so I think that's an excellent. Why? So I don't know if I should go in other reasons. It's like saying that only PSIT will be allowed to set up educational institutes in India. No one else. It's giving the control to few entities on how the information is there. That it's not exclusively body color, it's making the playing field uneven. That creates that imbalance, and which is not good, which can lead to carteling and those kind of things. That's what I'm not convinced yet, but that's all. Yeah.
Sir, my question to you is, like you talked about many man-made disasters and safety for it. Sir, but no one cares about natural disasters and safety measures for it. There are very little safety measures for natural disasters. Can it be improved further, like in today's generation?
Certainly, I'm sure natural disasters are also looked at, though it's not in the purview of what we do here in GETS1. So recently there was a cyclone warning and a lot of people were evacuated and we avoided casualties. So what is required is basically warning systems and these kind of evacuation drills and preparedness to target to tackle natural disasters. There are also some predictive tools which do weather predictions and things like that. For example, even with tsunamis, now there is a warning system that are in place to avoid the catastrophe that happened like in 2007. So these things are coming in. I don't think we should say that no one is doing anything. Of course, more can be done, definitely.
Sir, you talked about running away is the only solution from the natural disaster. Cannot we have made some buildings which won't fall during earthquake. So like these, there could be more innovation and technologies which could prevent tsunami and
Certainly. So that is what is there is a branch of designing which is called inherently safe design. It's not just building; it's in all sorts of machines, whatever. Inherently safe design. So there is a lot of research and there are a lot of activities going on. And again, if you remember that slide where we are talking about quantifying risk as likelihood of occurrence and severity of consequence. Right? So, for example, in Japan, the likelihood of occurrence is very high. So then, there the risks are high, so they can afford to get these technologies built in. In India, it's not very high in most of the parts, so you probably don't spend money to reduce those risks. They are probably already in the green or yellow zones there. But The point should be that we should be aware of where we are in that, and we have to make sure that we are not in the red zone. So yes, point very good. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So now the life is too short and temporary. So every people wants there is no time to don't waste time with your stress just because you can't get what they want. So sir, just frankly I ask, what is the use of industrial and hazard mitigation, and how do we use the management industrial hazard and mitigation and management program, sir? So that's it.
Right. So, even from the economic point of view, right, it's in industry's interest to promote safety. Okay, the workers' morale is high when there are no accidents, or goes down when there are accidents. There is stoppage of production. There is very expensive equipment that can be at risk, and then there is a public perception. Right? So all these things are important to industries, and they should be looking at it, but they will be looking at it. But sometimes the awareness is not there. Sometimes our Janata attitude kicks in. Sometimes our short-term view, वो सामने कुछ नहीं हुआ, क्या होने वाला है, that kind of thinking comes in, and we slip up. So continuous training, continuous awareness, those things.
Sir.
Sir, basically we are talking about R&D today. I have some question apart from the field you discussed. Sir, basically today you are working with the industry, and after 4 years we will gonna work with industry. So the last speech which you have given really inspires us, your achievements and the struggle which you have done. Sir, I want just a guide that what is the need of the industry that after 4 years that job opportunities for us increases. What are the major steps we should take while our trainings, while our studies, what extra curriculum we should follow?
Okay. So he's asking, what should we do today so that we are employed for 4 years down the road? Right? That's the question. And the answer is one way to say, I don't know, because nobody knows. Because the technology is changing so fast. Today it's big data, tomorrow it can be something else. We don't know, right? But if you go beyond these terms, IT is hot. SAP gives you a lot of jobs. Or big data is where the future is. If you speak about all of these, at the one level below, what it needs is skills, ability to understand, ability to pick up new technology, internalize, build on what you have and go forward. Right? Hard work, strong fundamentals in mathematics, strong fundamentals of physics, strong fundamentals of whatever engineering you are pursuing. And say a lot of industries say that these engineering colleges, when students graduate, they are not employed. Right? Or a lot of students say, when am I going to use this formula ever in my life? Right? So it's not the formula that is important. It's the ability to solve problems that we have demonstrated over 4 years. That ability, that skill is important. And that skill can be molded to a different problem. It doesn't have to be, find the head loss in a piping system. That is done. There are computers that can do it. You don't need to do that. But the ability to solve a problem starting from fundamentals. If you develop that skill, you will survive no matter what waves come in. That's how I think.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
With pleasure, we'd like to announce that Dr. Samir Khandekar is here with us. We request Dr. Shadresh Prathana to kindly present him okay, and welcome him. Good morning, friends. How is the day today? First of all, I PSIB, Managing Director Shokhalini, Dr. Vaseta for the opportunity to invite, and here I am again. Do you remember 1st of March? Yeah, 1st of March. This 1st of March. Do you remember 28th February, 29th February, and 1st of March? Ignitia 16, right? Yeah. So on 1st I was here in this same hall, and we conducted a quiz from Tata Motors in this very hall. It is always a pleasure to be here. We are young team. I want also enjoyed Javed Ali Nagri. Unfortunately, so neither I could, now I could see who comes from the back. So when this is being said, I'm sorry for the delay in coming. I think I was just reaching time, but this Sabdi Market is not here. It's a lot of scam. So please get up. As you will see, my presentation is on industry academia partnership on R&D initiative. Each word is very important in my presentation. This one here. And you see the two logos. One is the NHRE, being the president for Lucknow chapter of Uttar Pradesh, and also Motors. But I want to put some ground rules, some suggestions, upfront. Whatever I will be presenting will be my views. They are not the views of NHRE, they are not the views of Tata Motors. Okay? Okay with all of you? Yes. So they are just all over here, gentlemen. So, to give you a little introduction, put my presentation into these 4 parts, as you will see. The culture and environment currently at academia and industry, the present link between academia, the required link, and the way for partnerships. So, to tell you a little about myself, it's important, so then you can relate to the presentation. Just a couple of things to understand and I will share with you partners. I spent about 30 years with the industry, with Tata Motors at various locations, different plants. That is one. And I am an engineer, BTech, MTech, and then I am into industry. But I come from a background where my father was associated to academia. He spent more than 45 years with an engineering institute, in the institute. He helped support the group with other institutes in India and abroad. So, right from childhood, I used to admire the professor. वो तो अंकल आंटी कोई किसी से पढ़ने चले गए, किसी के साथ खेलने चले गए, all surrounding the same campus. So, family from academia, myself I went to industry. Can you see something here? What's that? What do you see? So it looks like something academia industry.
So where will you place me? You will place me here in the industry or place me somewhere here? You said? You can tell me. Can you have these rights, please? Okay. So you are putting me somewhere here, right? And what I would like to tell you that I am putting not here myself, I am putting somewhere here. And I want to move this side. How? That is my intent. I did MBA from Kolkata. And currently I am pursuing PhD. This is my second year of PhD. So I would also like to become doctor. And maybe after a couple of years, I will move into academia. So, when I speak now today, it will be a mix of both the things, both the worlds. I am not an expert professor on academia, but I will try to put my thoughts forward so that it is easier for you to understand what's happening. My PPT is based on the institutes where I visit, either for campus or for seminar, limited to 20-25 institutes, not the premier institutes like IIT, who are already into a lot of research work and they are in the country. And last one which I want to put, any questions which you will ask me about academia, they come to me and then they will be directed to Professor Vasudha. He will answer, help me answer those questions. Industry questions I will take. Right? So I begin with my question. This is something like some differences. It's a uniform attendant dress code. Industry has one. This is a dress code. This is a dress code. The industry follows. And over and above, if you are in a manufacturing place, you have to wear a lot of personal protective equipment, the PPE. The helmets are necessary. यहाँ तो बच्चे मोटरसाइकिल में नहीं बनते हैं, वहाँ घूम भी नहीं सकते. Immediately the life changes. You have to enter with the helmet, and then you have to put the safety helmet. Gloves wherever they are required, and so on and so forth. Just work with this. Some freedom in academia. You see that? They can adjust their time, when to do. They don't have brushes. They can decide when to teach, what to teach, which chapter to take course, which chapter to take in the end, take evening classes. But when you go to industry, you don't have any freedom. I picked up this particular slide, from the internet. It says, before graduation, all of us think, yes, I will do research. So as you grow up, what you do, when you graduate, you start doing research, whatever my professor says, because then yes, to help me. As you go further, the assistant professor, I am going to research whatever the tenure committee tells me, and so on, then whatever the grants committee tells me, and there is no end, you can keep doing research, like started doing research. In industry, the manager or the officer has to follow everything. He has a daily targets, he has monthly targets, he has yearly targets, he has to give profits, he has to give production numbers, he has to give sales numbers, and here only one boss and many times we have more than one for different functions. Right? And innovation is limited, R&D work is limited to a special set, or it is handled centrally in one of the locations, and that's not at all the units. So, what you see here, so when you are in institute, the individual is very important. You want to be first. You want to have the first step, first 15th rank. Okay? Then you have your independent thoughts. And you get confidence because you are on your own. You are struggling with problems day in and day out. So you work at a certain level, which is your own level. But what happens in industry? So when you move from institute to industry, it's no more individual. First time I said, there's a team's work. You have to work in team, the cross-functional team. One person may come from manufacturing, one from maintenance, so on. And then you solve a problem. And when you are in team, you can solve complex problems. So this is how things change. You see here, and individuals in team could benefit a lot because everybody is bringing in, different type of specialists. This one. Industry wants solution immediate for the problem how to beat the competition. Academia, this is the general perception. It will take time, yes, we solve the problem, we go for it, we study, we research, lot of literature, will be studied and then come out with solution. Then, the impact, industry you have the direct impact and academia you have the indirect impact. This is the grants. Academia is looking for grants. They need money to do the research work. While industry has a lot of money and they are looking for profits. They are looking for product, they are looking for more sales, they are looking for beating the competition. And this is important. Actually, I googled out the starting day to find out what is CV, biodata, what is resume. So, you know the difference? Anyone of you? Is the same. Actually, when you Google, you will find that some countries are using CVs, some countries are using resumes, and some are using both. Like India is using both. And most of us don't know what is resume and what is CV. To us, all is the same. So in that sense, resume is a brief thing. CV is a more detailed about the person. If you see here, let's go to this one. CV, lot of things. Academicians. Lot of things will be listed. Contact information. All the academic position heads. What are the communication? What are the papers they have written? Long list of papers. Then the teaching experience. So it will run into pages. It could be 3 pages, 5 pages, 6 pages. And in the end, some practical experience of industry or operations. This is very important when you are in academics. But when you look from the industry point of view, just turn it around. Just turn it around and the bottom part becomes good. When the bottom part becomes important, they want the real world experience. Industry wants 1 or 2 pages. What have you done for industry? Have you done some savings? Have you improved sales? What are the functions like maintenance, materials, which functions you have got? So industry is looking just at the opposite. And all this is not very, very important for the industry. So I'm just showing you some differences. I'm not saying what is right, what is wrong. So, these are some of the myths. Just go through it. Academia may not have projects. Industry has a lot of projects. Academia does not know what is the job requirement. Academia means the students. If somebody was asking me a question, what are the job requirements? Industry is looking for soft skills. Soft skills are important. Somebody asked a question, what are you looking for in industry? In industry, 3 things are important for a job. One is the knowledge. The knowledge, the first is the knowledge you are gathering from the institute. 80% knowledge, 70% knowledge you are gathering from the institute. 20-30% to library, to internet and other places. So this is how the knowledge part is taken care of. When we talk about skills, there are 2 types of skills. Technical skills and soft skills. For technical skills, you will train. Meaning any industry who takes, they will put it, they will see that you are technically trained. Even soft skills, industry trained, but soft skills are very important. Say like communication is very important. You may be a genius, you may be the topper of the institute, but if you are not able to express yourself, you are not able to talk, then what is the use? You will not survive in the industry. Communication skills, then there are, teamwork is very, very important, and so on and so forth. And the last thing, the third thing which I am talking about is the attitude. Attitude is very difficult to find. Very difficult for the industry people to find, and very difficult for any other person to find. You always say your attitude. It's like an iceberg model. नीचे में जो ice dipping नहीं कितना है, so attitude not spoil. So if you build on attitude, if you are open to learning, attitude, then you get it all. So knowledge, skills, soft skills, technical skills, and the most important is the attitude. So sorry for slightly debating, but I thought I would answer that. Other things, I have good collaboration with universities about papers, want to churn out good quality students, and on the other hand, industries are bound by various regulations and they take new recruit and pay them as per the requirement. Academia, as I said, is more flexible industries, more constrained, more room for industrial autonomy in it, and it to produce an immediate particular product in the industry. It's struggle to get funding, it's struggle with competition, it's a long-term goal, they want quick solution, and so on. So, I just wanted to tell you some slightly different from a third person's perspective. Coming to the second part of my presentation, the present link between academia and industry. What's this? See, student in the center is written student to profession. So all of us sitting here, the students either will become professors or will go to a profession. So basically all of us here. Back to development thing. 3-4 links which are very, very important. The first link, what is the most important link? The campus recruitment. So how does the campus recruitment happen? The industry or the company and the institute, they finalize a date. So what happens? A placement manager or a placement officer from the institute will contact somebody in HR at a very low level. They will tie them up. Okay. This how this report interview कर लीजिए, rated test कर लीजिए. ऐसे होता है? Then industry को मालूम नहीं किस कॉलेज में जाना है. Because they have been traditionally going to 15 institutes. वही जाते हैं. But that's not the thing which is happening today. We are also relying on the third party. They have data about all the colleges. It's important because now we have Tata Motors plant in Dharwad, in South, we have in Pune, we have in Jamshedpur, we have at Lucknow, and we have at Kanpur. So if you have to take a student from Chennai, and if you have to take a student from Pune or Jamshedpur, they should be somewhat similar. ऐसा नहीं कि एक जगह बहुत अच्छी लेंगे, एक जगह बहुत खराब लेंगे. And then the whole idea is so many institutes, उनको वो भेजूंगा. So we give our requirement to the third party. Third party comes back to us, this is what we are looking for, and then from there we start planning. Of course, we have to write data available with us. We don't go exactly as per their advice, but we take inputs. Because we cannot keep abreast with each and every college how the students are getting started. Good quality students are there or not. So what happens? Sorry to say, but there is a fact. About 40-45 institutes are visited and spent at least a day or 1.5 days. But no faculty, no professor meets. एक लड़के को लड़ाई होता है, बैठे थे, वो चार पानी लाता है, नाश्ता कराता है, समोसे खिलाता है, lunch करता है. But there is hardly any interaction from most of the colleges, any senior professor or the director. So relationship कहाँ से बनेगी? दोनों अपने उसमें. हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है वो HR manager goes, he said I want 3 people because recruitment has to be done. A senior most person has to be there. Most of the company. It's not like in whichever look at it. So a person from any industry is visiting, let me spend some time, the initial 15 minutes or the lunch time, some professor, check the relationship on our college. How are my students doing? What is the industry looking for? It does not happen. Most of them, I'm not saying 100%, most of them do stop up. Because I am going to 25 college, my other colleagues who work same. And 1.5 days they are there, sometimes we miss them, but at a time. So, this is what I am saying, this is a weak relationship, which will come in later in the presentation, that this needs to be strengthened both ways. So the person, the senior person from the institute is writing to a senior person from the industry, bonding will start sooner or later. Second thing, someone knowing what happens, second interaction, second interface. Placement officer blank कितना दे होते हैं. And the student says यहाँ जाना है, hundreds of letters comes to us. We get 1,000, 2,000 letters. How do we pick? Becomes very difficult. Very, very difficult. क्योंकि employee है उसका कोई वादा, उसको preference मिल जाएगा. Government की preference है, उसको मिल जाएगा. go to institute, you again collaborate, then what happens? If they take 5 students, I'm giving the list, you are the best students or second best student, why the industry not accommodate? So we, the relationship develop at the senior most level, things will happen. तो ये छोटी सी जो चिट्ठी मिलती है, वो छोटे से अफसर के पास कंपनी में चली जाती है, दोनों तरफ से काम होना, और वो अपने हिसाब से डिसाइड करते हैं और समझ नहीं हो जाती है। This is what we are actually facing. What? This is a practical problem. What happens? We can accommodate 50 students, but 50 to 211%. Some of them will be lucky to get good projects, some of them will not. Because nobody has so much time to spend, nobody has a separate laptop. You may not be allowed to carry your laptop inside. There are certain rules and regulations. So, the need of the hour is that you will start interacting at the top level, at the next level, then the message goes. I am coming here for the 5th time. Why? Because they were listening to me. So Shivali is constantly in touch with me. Ranveer ji is also talking to me, and the faculty. Lot of warmth is given, lot of affection is given, lot of courtesy. So that is why the relationship is developing. So that is the need of God. Same thing happens in the industrial visits, third interaction. आपका भी टारगेट है इतने बच्चों को स्कूल में उतना नहीं लिखाना है, इंडस्ट्री करके आप भी लिखा देते हैं। ये होता है ना, तो डिपार्टमेंट needs to be giving theory. The village gives a good overview of the work there. ऐसा नहीं सब बता रहा था. You people are learning, watching, maybe a session is taking for 30-40 minutes. But then it gives an opportunity. If 3-4 faculty members, senior members are visiting, then industry will also respond in the same way. Some senior deputy general manager and general will interact. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, the relationship up. So this was the third thing. And the fourth thing which I am talking about is again very common. Again there is interaction at these forums of institute, that is academia and the industry. CII, NHRD, PhD. The students attend seminar, then most of them fill the seats. Learning experience is limited, and networking is only left to a PR person. Each institute will have a PR department, 1 or 2 people. They will be seen in all the places. Same thing happens in the industry. They will also have a HR person or a PR person. The same person will. So I'm not going to offer. One will speak. The top will never meet. Top or semi-top or semi-top. That's the issue. So all we could check as to my personal views. These can be strengthened at both the levels from industry as well as the academia. So what we are talking about, industry academia partnership. Partnership develops from here. So these things are already happening. So the third part, the suggested link. Industry as examples, experiences, problems, research is required. And whereas for academia, there are a lot of ideas, lot of capability, lot of capability, research, and so on. To merge the two. Industry has its own priorities. Industry वाले साथ बात करोगे, they will say improve profitability, market share बढ़ाना है, नए products लाने हैं, product diversification is required, must be new technology and so on. So that is their language. Industry will have similarly different languages. So need for growth is universities and industries are operating in separate domains. Need to come closer to each other, as I said, in the beginning. Then increasing competition is putting pressure on work, changing the complexity of the business environment. Is for work. Students को पता नहीं है ranking भी improve करनी है institute की. So there is also competition. They are one that's going on business today, a common things my institute at this level. Same thing happens with the industry. So much market share we have. It is important. And presently there is a knowledge economy, and which is more important for the academia and the And the important point is the mismatch between quality of manpower. So unless the two come together, industry will face problem of quality manpower is not available. Institute will face problem, their good jobs will not be available. So this is actually the need of all. So we read this line, we are in a world of competition. As industries look for increasing market share, the institutes look for improving ranking. Is that right? कोई कुछ तो करना है, we should have aimed. So both are struggling. Conclusion. Two suggestions from my side for a strong partnership. Bridge the gap between academic institutions and corporate through two-way communication, starting from the leadership, not from bottom. तो दो लोग बैठेंगे, खुलेंगे, फिर बातें होंगी, these are my strengths, this is my weakness, how can you help professor? Professor will say, you know, I need some funds, these are the projects I want to carry out. So I used to break from there, you have to do the funds. तो थोड़ा सा जो वहाँ से चलेगा, second part is, these are very important things. Cultural sensibility, as they started in the beginning, how they are culturally different, to bring them together. Religion attributes and the academic value. So these are the simple moves that discussed, like industrial projects, summer training, strengthened by global leadership. Once this is built, this relationship is built, then we can work on what we are talking about R&D research. These are the major ones. Product development, testing, fundamental research, concept development, prototyping, things will automatically flow. Right now we go to IITs. IIT is model of काम होता है, brain चलता है, yes, and IIT चलता है. But I'm not talking about IITs or IITs. I'm talking about schools in general. So if a relationship is built, then we can move towards the side. This is the topic for today. Industry academic partnership on R&D initiative. So the initiative can make the camp. They will pay the way for the bigger ones. Thank you. Academic person before the professors, industry person to me. Sir, आपको नाम बता देना. Yeah, no more. I don't want to answer or not.
Take up an example like electric car, which could be an innovative product for Tata Motors at this stage, and they would like to make PSI a partner, not to the extent that IIT involvement may be liked by Tata Motors. However, group PSI research to bring up it to the levels of IIT likes. Probably solution like electric car research here at PSI can be one of the good solutions. So is Tata Motors having any such thought process?
Tata Motors, Pune branch has a 4,000 strong team, 4,000 people, engineers. The what we call it as a research center, engineering research center. And all these people are working in products. 4,000 is a big number. But then we have so many products, so many of them. Starting from Nano, then we have one under Tata Ace and Tata Mavic, going up to Jaguar in the passenger car, and the Prima, first Prima is we have heard about which happens in Noida. So huge variety and huge number of models. And then we want to be the market leaders in commercial vehicles. We are so far, we have about 48% to 50% market share. So a lot of work is going on there. And there are collaboration with institutes. So what Sir said just now, it's a good idea. We need to develop relationships first. अब जैसे आप पहली बार सुना, दो चार लोग चाय वाय पिएंगे बैठेंगे तो हम कुछ करेंगे। मेरा हाथ नहीं भी होगा, तो I will take them to the right route. Because we have a good institute, a good professor, and these are the students. When we come to this company. But unless we speak the same language or we interact, not only officially, otherwise also, how will things happen? ये पहली बार सवाल आया मेरे पास। ये सवाल क्यों नहीं आते हैं? क्योंकि लोग इंडस्ट्री के भी तो अपनी दुनिया में रहते हैं और academician अपनी दुनिया में रहते हैं। पर एक चीज मैं बता दूं, we have lot of respect. All of us have lot of respect for academia. तो बचपन से होता है ना, सर टीचर, हम लोग को सबको माइंड में लगा हुआ है। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वाइस प्रेसिडेंट बन गया है, कोई कंपनी में बन गया तो कोई प्रोफेसर आया तो उससे बात नहीं होती। You always respect our teachers, gurus and professors. So I would tell general, I'm not talking about this talking in general, any professor, senior professor, if they interact, they will get lot of respect. Maybe the solutions will not come through, but lot of learning will happen, what is industry doing. Funds will not come. क्या हो रहा है, किस तरह के बच्चे चाहिए, तो बॉन्डिंग will start. Okay, thank you very much.
Not a question, but a small thank you because Tata Motors has always been very, very supportive. Our faculty have visited Tata Motors a couple of times. Our students have gone for industrial visit. R&D, definitely we have direct R&D with us now. So I guess on R&D also you have a lot of, we look forward to an opportunity wherein we can collaborate together. And of course, thank you so much for always being so supportive to KSIT. Thank you.
Thank you, PSIT. Thank you so much, sir. Concluding our session one, we would felicitate our speakers and firstly we will request Dr. Ashutosh Tiwari to kindly present a memento. To Arvind Kandekar sir, Karan sir. We would like to felicitate Ajay Balgankar sir. We request Dr. Pranava sir to kindly give him a memento to sir. To felicitate to our number two, we have Dr. Ramchand. We request Dr. Ramchand to come to the stage to our number two. Thank you so much. We would like to announce for lunch. All the registered and the non-registered members, they have to go to the door first. You can definitely collect the coupons from the registration desk. As far as the dignitaries are concerned, we request to guide you to proceed towards the conference.